top 5 Sony E-Mount lenses that I use for street photography. Do it. What's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Adam B. Lally. I'm a street photographer based in Leeds, right here in the UK. In this channel, we're going to bring gear reviews, edit tutorials, and tips on how you can take better street photos. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and let's get into it. Number 1, the Sigma 24-70 f2.8, the lens that we're shooting on right now, and it was the first lens I actually got for the Sony A7 III. 24-70 is a really versatile focal range, and when it comes to street photography, having that ability to cover all bases and not have to worry about switching lenses just means you're more likely to nail the shot. You never know what's going to unfold in front of you. There's so many situations, so many things that can develop. Being able to be ready for that and being able to zoom where you need to hone in on the detail, to really tell the story of the street, or just pulling back to capture, you know, the whole scene as it unfolds. This lens really allows you to do that. Specifically, this 24-70 is just superb. The sharpness for a zoom lens is second to none, in my opinion. I've used the G Master and I would still pick this one anytime. It's cheaper, but quality-wise, it's just there. The focusing is super fast. It really renders the background really, really nicely. Colors are great. It's just an all-round great lens. And if you're getting into street, a zoom lens might be the way to go so that you can explore different creative options on how you would shoot something. I started off kind of shooting everything ultra zoomed in, and that was probably a confidence thing. When you start with street photography, you don't always have the confidence to get up close to the subject, because let's be honest, at 24mm, you have to be close, like really, really close. So, you know, that comes with confidence. You know, to approach that, you always worry that people are gonna object to you taking their picture or kind of have a problem with it. So shooting more kind of at the longer focal length just gives you that degree of comfort. But I've certainly found as my style's developed that I favour the kind of wider view, give some context behind the subject and kind of build a bit more of a scene rather than just honing on the one person and not really, you know, show what's going on behind them. So this lens is great for that kind of all-round, cover all bases kind of situation. So definitely my number 1 on the list where it all started. Number 2, the Tamron 70-180. Now, we talked about zoom lenses and the versatility that can bring. And while sometimes I like to shoot wide, what you do sometimes find is that when you're too close to a subject, especially in street, you can change the nature of that photo. Sometimes it's quite nice to take the step back, shoot at a longer focal length such as this, and preserve the candid nature of the situation. By removing yourself, you take away the risk that someone might change what they're doing or even walk away. If you've seen something unfold and you really want to capture it, being further away and shooting at a longer focal length can do that. Plus you get a really nice background separation at a longer focal length. You can really isolate your subject and really sort of tell their story. This lens in particular is ultra lightweight for a start. It weighs practically nothing. I mean, that's not true, of course, it weighs something. But for that equivalent focal length, if you look at the Sony G Master, it's much bigger, it's much bulkier, and it's white. If you go shooting street at night with a big white lens, you're gonna stand out like a sore thumb. So this is really, really good for that. It's not that big, it's not that heavy, it's definitely okay to use handheld. And that's key for me, you know, when you can't shoot street with a tripod, you can't mount this and just stand there waiting for someone to go past. You've got to run and gun and be on the move. So this lens is really good for that. And quality-wise, it's exceptional. The autofocus, again, is really, really fast. And even in low light, I found that this performs so well in low light, which, you know, for what I do, that's key. Certainly an option to explore if you are looking at that longer focal length. I mean, it's got uses beyond street, of course it has, but that's what we're talking about today. And you'll see the examples in the photos here, just what you can achieve with this lens. You can really bring in that compression, that really, really nice effect that adds a lot of drama to your photos. So 70-180, preserve the candid nature of the situation, take a step back, And if you're not too confident about taking street photos, this is great because you can be so far away. At 180, you know, you can practically be in another city. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but you get the idea. Number 3, the Sony Zeiss 55mm 1.8. Now, zoom lenses are brilliant and they are so versatile, but there's just something special about a prime lens, and there's definitely something special about this particular prime lens. The sharpness is just off the scale, like unbelievable. Until you've used one, you just don't know what you're missing out on. And it's so small. You know, you're talking about street photography, you're talking about being unassuming, not drawing attention to yourself. Well, no one's gonna see that. It's just an easy setup. It's a pocket-sized setup to go out and grab a few candid shots in the streets, and the images will be beautiful because the colors that this renders is just superb. The autofocus is fast. To say this is such an old lens, it's like 7, maybe 8 years old, but it holds its own. It really, really does. You can pick these up now for not a lot of money. Grab yourself one and just give it a go. You'll be glad that you did, because there is a special quality to this lens and I love it. I sold it, I bought it again, and it will stay in my camera bag now forever, because it really does just offer something that I don't think is out there in that focal range, especially not at that size. You know, there's the 50mm 1.4, which is about this big. Even the new 50mm 1.2, you know, it's going to cost about £37,000. So you don't really want that. You know, you want this. Get this one. Get this one. Number 4, the Sigma 35mm f1.2. Now let's address the elephant in the room about this lens. It is literally an elephant in the room. It's massive. I mean, look, it is massive for a 35mm. And if you thought that it's just big, but it might be lightweight, no, it's not. It weighs a ton. It weighs literally 1 ton. But who cares? Because once you see the images that you get out of this lens, you really don't care. It's worth the dead arm that you get carrying it around. The sharpness is just off the scale. The colors, I mean, the RAWs that you get, they look like processed images. The clarity, oh, it's just a stunning lens. And in terms of street photography, 35mm is really nice because you can get real good context of the scene that you're in. As I said before, when you get ultra close to a subject, that's got its merit and that can look really good. But 35mm has just got that cinematic kind of film quality to it that a lot of people want. It's certainly the style I go for. And yeah, there are other 35mm options. I'm not saying this is definitely the one that you should have, but if you get a chance to use this, just give it a go, because it really is something special. And 1.2 for night photography, game changer. Really, really is. You can keep your shutter speed high so we're not getting any blurry photos. We can freeze the action. We don't have to bump the ISO to 6,000 million. We can keep that at a relatively comfortable level so we'll get a crisp image. So yeah, that's the 35 for me, definitely. Number 5, the Sigma 85mm 1.4. Now there's not a lot to say about this lens other than it's just stunning. It just does such a good job. And 85mm is becoming really popular with street photographers, so naturally I had to pick one up. I love the Sigma lenses. I was so impressed with the 24 A7ii. The 35 is excellent, so I thought it's time to add the 85, and I really haven't been disappointed. It does such a fantastic job. The background, the bokeh that this renders is the best that I've seen on any of the lenses that I own. It's just so creamy, it's just so nice. It's just really, really a fantastic lens. And it's super compact. Again, we're talking about street photography, we're talking about keeping ourselves unassuming, not interfering with the scene. You know, again, you're not going to draw attention to yourself with that. And that really is key if you really want to capture those candid moments. So that is a special lens. Again, one that I would highly recommend. So there we have it, guys, my top 5 lenses for the Sony E-Mount camera that I use for street photography. Hopefully you found that useful. If you did, please consider hitting the subscribe button. We'll be bringing you more street photography tips along the way. Let me know in the comments which is your favourite lens for street photography, and I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers, guys, and look after yourselves.